There we go. May as well start with the hotel. I don't know, did you guys have a chance to look at any of this stuff?
I looked at the other one this morning a bit. And the hotel one, I started to, I don't know, the hotel one seems a little over my head.
Yeah, the guy sent a lot of stuff. I don't follow him either, but what I decided to do was go back and take a look at what they actually reported and compare it to what I did to the other hotels where I used exactly what they reported, and made a couple of adjustments. You can see on page 6 and page 7. Page 7 is the very busy thing that he sent us. And I went through it and isolated on the main things, the number of rooms, the average room rate, for 365 nights at their average room rate comes to that 61,320. You see the 55% occupancy is 45% vacancy. And I rounded his 63.6% expenses to 64. And then if you flip back to page 6, those numbers are highlighted and it comes up with a value which is a little bit lower than what we went out on. And we went out at 28 million. This comes in at 25 million. And you can see from the first couple of pages 4 and 5, the thing did sell for 40 million bucks. I mean, it had been shut down and it was a foreclosure sale. And I don't know what went on in the background with that, but there's the $40 million sale hanging out there. But if you use the actual numbers we generally use to put values on it for, what they did in calendar 20, which was pandemic time, the $25 million value is what I come up with. I'm not sure where we went with the 28. I think we just took a percentage of the prior value because of the pandemic and went with that.
So Chip, the person who filed the abatement, he's with the company that bought and paid to buy the hotel for 40 million?
I don't think he's with the company. I think he's an independent. What?
He represents them?
He represents them. And you can see the letter on page 3 is his letter of authorization from the, I guess it's a bank that bought it.
So it's not the guy we talked to like 3 years ago?
No, different guy. He was a good guy. We had a good conversation. We didn't give him what he wanted, but he understood.
Yeah.
And I think
40 million, sorry to interrupt you, the 40 million, if you had it assessed at 28, is it possible that when you say, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, that it sold for 40 million, could they be acquiring debt that it accumulated?
I think that's what they did because the place went belly up, basically. Yeah. And, the $40 million is, I guess, for them, a long-term investment, thinking, years down the road, they're going to get their money back. Because the place, according to this Tom Dolan, the guy who is representing them, the place was in pretty bad shape before the pandemic even hit. They were ready for a major rehab, and Sheridan sold that several years ago as part of like a 12 hotel sale that we didn't really get any information out of because we got one big number for a whole bunch of hotel sales. But I'd be willing to look at giving them the value that's produced by the income that they had. Because the sale, I really can't speak to it one way or the other, except that it's a big number. But I mean, most commercial buildings are being purchased for future income, and they're paying way over what the assessed value is, because the assessed value is based on the current income. So if somebody's paying 40 million bucks and they're looking 10 years down the road, their financial plan may see them getting their money back.
Yeah, I understand.
So instead of being at 28, you'd go along with the 25.
The 25 is what their information
it's been.
indicates. I mean, this guy wants 16 million, and
Right.
for that, he can go to the ATV and beg for it, you know, which may well be where he ends up. I don't know.
Okay,
Barry, you got any thoughts?
Not really. I mean, I guess if the 28 wasn't done with better magic than the 25.8.
25, no, it's 25 even, basically. Where's the number? Yeah, 25,008,000.
Okay.
I move to we do it to the 25 million.
So granted then.
Granted.
yeah, second that.
I join.
All right, we'll see where it goes. Okay, the other guy. Basically, his argument is that commercial buildings should be assessed in a similar fashion as far as using, this building is where CVS is and the two restaurants next to it.
Yeah,
And he gets huge rent money from CVS, probably more than any building in town. He's getting like $50 a foot. He's arguing that the going rate in the area for that kind of property is about $40 a foot. And you can see from pages 7 and 8 that, you know, that number is about right. You know, I've got three different, I've got banks, which are semi-high end, and he also was comparing himself to a bank because it's high end, what he's getting from CVS. I went to medical offices, come in at 33, almost $34 a foot, and restaurants come in at $36 a foot. So to see what I would end up with, if you look at page 6, I applied those numbers, the 40% rent or $40 a foot rent, the 10% vacancy, and the 15% expense model. And it brings the value in at 4.3. We're at 5.2, almost 5.3 at this point. The prior year, he's filed at the appellate tax board, but it's basically, you know, his theory is that buildings shouldn't be treated individually, that they should be treated, you know, like other buildings of similar types as far as analyzing their income. And, you know, he's got a decent argument. He owns a bunch of property. He owns a whole load of property on Newberry Street. And I guess he's busy fighting with the Boston assessors over that. But, you know, it's your call. We've got the, you know, I'd reduce, if he goes for this number, I'd reduce the prior year that's already scheduled at the ATB, you know, by the same percentage. So he'd get something on both years.
Chip, I wrote down, and I'm not sure where I got, he reported 15,470 square feet. And that works out to be like $47.10 per square foot, which is more than everybody else. And then you lowered the assessment this year from 54 to 52. So, like, I'm not in favor of going any further than what you've already done.
Okay, yeah, because what I did was I lowered him basically for the effect of the pandemic, which I did to a lot of different properties. So that I wasn't lowering him because of his argument. I was lowering him because of the pandemic, which I did to a lot of the restaurants, you know, I did to the hotels, obviously. You know, places that CVS was not really affected by the pandemic. So, you know, I didn't include them in the calculation, but that drop in value is not because he filed the prior year. It's because that was kind of my standard drop for that type of property.
From the ones that he's getting, what I wrote down was he's getting $35 a square foot at Hearth, and he's getting $51 at Farmhouse. And it seemed like he was getting more rent than the other similar properties that you said.
He is. And so I had a meeting with him last week. I sat down and I said, he said, well, could you take a look at what similar properties you're getting? And, see how that value works out, which is basically what I did. And that's where the 4.3 number comes from. Because he's, before our meeting, his original request was to drop it to 4.1. At the meeting, he was going for 3.5. And, I'm not going there for sure. But, I was trying to look for some kind of compromise.
Jim, if we accept his logic, should like Gary Fusion Bistro be cut from 44? Or like, are we just gonna give all of these the same price per square foot?
Yeah, see, that's what I don't particularly like doing because we don't have massive amounts of commercial property.
And
Yeah, we're-
Capella's gotta get jacked up, right? Right, because Capella is at 2250,
What page are you looking at?
9.
9, okay. Yeah, those values are several years old. So they may be jacked up already, or they may be changed. Stan,
But
think-
under his logic, all these numbers should be the same, possibly.
Yeah,
And maybe some are
that's-
further away from each other and there'd be some rationale, but how do we do it right now? We
I look at the individual income and expense returns that they give me. And I basically make adjustments to individual properties, based on that.
and has he shown any sort of an aberration here of why income looked a little higher when it shouldn't? It was,
Well, it's because of
Falsely
CVS.
looking-
I mean, he's making a killing on CVS.
but that's a legitimate reason then for a higher tax.
Yes, it is. And that's why he's higher than everybody else. I'm basically just putting his argument out there for you guys.
And the notes here, are these his notes or yours on 9?
On 9,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
actually, I think, Stan, you did that.
Oh, Stan did it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had him do a survey. I'm pretty sure, maybe it was Gordon. No, I'm sorry, it was somebody else. Do a survey of the, what we had for income on the restaurants in downtown. In and around downtown, anyway. Just to get an idea. This was for another application I probably had several years ago, but I just happen to remember that we did it and pulled
So
out the
our-
number.
My issue is sort of this, if our standard approach is to do an income approach, and I suppose you're always open-minded to why an income approach distorts something that's not real somewhere, but we have an income approach. If we listen to someone who says, look, I'm too high with an income approach because my income is too high, which is what he's saying, because I have this great CVS tenant and it's not real, but I assume, let's say he said CVS was a really short-term tenant and it's not fair to value it that way, something else, but he's not. Like CVS is there, has been there for a long time, is expected to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be there
Like,
forever.
We'd basically be getting folks saying, well, the income approach is just too high and, blend me down to the other people. And I don't know why this argument wouldn't hold for a whole bunch of other places that would just change how we do things, right? I mean,
No, you're absolutely right. And as I say, I met with him. I told him I would put his argument before you and, it's your call. I did the numbers.
anything like CVS is like, it had a 10-year lease that expires this year and it can't be considered, if you use an income approach and you're thinking what the future value is, discounting it, you wouldn't think it's really a CVS. And anything like that he's presenting to us, even?
Not really. I mean, he's again, I've talked to this guy several times on the prior year ATV case, because it was coming up and I was trying to settle it with him. And, he's just got this theory that everything should be the same. And I'm trying to, because he's looking at the per square foot value of different buildings. And I'm explaining to them that, the income approach is the income approach. And, if you want to go to the ATB with your theory, be my guest. And then when we talked last week, I said, look, I'll put your numbers together, present it to the board and see what they want to do.
There's
I'm
no
not
law.
advocating one way or the other.
There's no rule against using the income approach. It's a favored
No,
method,
absolutely not.
right? I mean, if there are folks out there who are getting the benefit of the income approach, for those are the people who I guess aren't doing as well, but it seems odd to just abandon it for one person because it would give them a break.
No, I think he's looking at it too from the perspective of the property he owns in Boston. Where Boston, they have 8 million CVSs. So they could take, what does the average CVS get? Okay, they have 8 million restaurants, on Newberry Street, they get $80 a foot. On someplace else, they get $40 a foot. They've got enough material to use averages in different areas. We don't. That's why I look at the things individually. So.
And he has a building that has whatever it is that CVS looks for in terms of parking and access on two ends or whatever else might go into CVS's decision. And that's
Yeah.
different than looking at a restaurant and how much a restaurant bring. I mean, you're not going to see a CVS go in at Capella. You're not going to see a CVS, it's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I would,
Size of the building. Like if we looked at,
What about Walgreens? Did you look at what Walgreens is paying per square foot?
that's a good
Uh,
point.
they
The
own the
other
building.
CVS.
they own the building.
What about the other CVS building?
That I don't know, but that's a real small one, isn't it? The one on the Heights?
No, it's not that small.
Smaller. But I would think it would be a better comparator than looking at, Fuji Steakhouse or the Rice Bar, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it does, the parking does a lot for me on this. I look at this list. It's sort of interesting. Ray's New Garden. I guess their parking is nowhere near the size. I mean, I think this. I mean, I assume that parking access is a real big deal to a tenant like CVS.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
as I look at this list, I think that's just another reason.
Why don't we look up CVS real quick up in the Heights? Because that's a similar parking situation.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
I don't think I can look it up that fast because I got to find the address because it's not CVS. I don't believe owns that building. I'm going to have to find out who owns that building and see if they filed an income and expense, but I can,
They used to, Chip.
yeah, I'm just trying.
The
936 Highland.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
All right, hold on. Let me just block you guys out for a minute here and see if I can find a,
Barry Artie, I'm not sure if this would be, have you guys seen the income and expense reports? What's filed?
No.
But I think at some point, go into the office and ask Marie to see what they put down in some of the cases, just so you're familiar
The
with them.
Heights?
Any of them, just what I&Es look like.
well, I'll show you one in a minute. Hold on, let me just see if I can find this.
Isn't CVS the Carter Building?
See, CVS is showing an address of 936 Great Plain Avenue. Oh, wait, it's Highland Avenue, right? I'm sorry.
Right.
Yep.
That would probably help. Because that building might actually not be in our records as 936. It's not. Let's see what's close. Might be 920. Let's see. Oh, is Dave trying to get in? No. Hang on one second. Too many things going on at once here. No, I'm just looking. I know Dave was going to jump into the meeting, but I don't see him. All right. Minimize Zoom. I'm just trying to hunt down this Highland Avenue.
I hope I didn't throw a curveball into things.
No, I'm just, See, CVS may have their address as 936, but the actual building may not be 936 in our records,
Yeah, I got you.
because they all. Let me see. All right, hang on for 1 second. I'm just going to step out and ask Marie to check her records and see if she can find something.
Hmm. How was everyone's weekend?
Very good. Got a pizza from your place on Friday.
Who went in? You?
Yep,
At night?
like 5 o'clock or something. Every
might have
time
been-
I've gone in there, I haven't seen you, unless you're hiding in the background playing
Oh,
poker or
usually I'm
something.
on the ovens on Friday night, but sometimes I get there at like 5:15, 5:20.
That was before that.
Lots of kid baseball already. Both guys had a doubleheader this weekend. Very cold weather.
Where at? When's Little League starting?
Little League starts after school, just after school break week. So last week of
really?
April. I mean, it started, practices are starting, games started after school break week, but club baseball started. One of my younger guy had a doubleheader on the Cape in Dennis, and my other guy was home here in Needham.
Wow, that's far.
I thought they were taking up golf, Barry.
Mitchell's added golf. You can probably tell from some practice golf balls making it into your yard.
Yes, that's what I was looking on the lookout
It's
for.
better than having a tennis ball landing in your yard, I assume. I apologize for that.
That's all right. That's fine. They have the basketball court in the back. Every time when I'm walking in the back of the house, I'll see them out there shooting hoops.
Right.
I've been playing paddle. It's like a miniature tennis thing that's in a fenced-in. Needham Pool and Racket just got paddle courts this year. It's a winter sport. Winter
See,
fall.
At Wellesley Country Club, when you go by there,
Yeah, they have.
yeah, across the street from the
Lot of
main
fun.
clubhouse.
I'm still looking here, guys. Let's see. That's not it. It's not in with the Starbucks, right?
No, it's
No,
across
it's
the
Trader
street.
Joe's and Vino Divino.
It's on the same side as Starbucks, isn't it?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out which building it is, looking at the map. So it's beyond West Street going toward 128, right?
It's before West Street on the right.
Before West, on the corner?
On the corner is a wine shop, but yes, same building.
All right, let me, so it's 6338. So the actual address is 920 Highland. That's the problem. All right, let me go see if I can find that one. Hold on. All right, she's trying to find it in her file to see if they sent anything in for that CVS.
All right.
I thought they used to. I remember seeing Trader Joe's and the other places on
Yeah,
that.
because see, somebody owns that building, but we look at it as 920 Highland Avenue, and, you know, the different businesses have their own addresses, so.
Well, from
Unfortunately,
my point of view, he hasn't tried to compare himself to the other CVS, which would be probably a more reasonable thing to do, or
No,
even
what-
hybrid, right?
what he was comparing himself to was the building, you know, it used to be the Crest, it's now Citizens
Yeah.
Bank and Bagels Best.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the building he was comparing himself to, and you know, he didn't have the rents, and I looked up the rents for that. And you know, the bank's in the 40s, and the you know, the fine wine places, they look like they're paying $37 a foot for rent. So that's kind of what I used to apply to his building to see where the number came out. Let me see if I got CVS here. Okay, CVS. Okay, they look like they're only paying $33 a foot at that CVS. Wait a minute. Hold on, I take it back. 331.8. Up $28 a foot. So for whatever reason, that CVS is paying a hell of a lot less than downtown. So that,
You gotta think. Great Play now, right in front of the Commons, gonna.
Oh, yeah, with the parking in the rear, too.
too.
yeah, I mean, that's definitely a primo site. Because I mean, there is parking in the back of the other one, right? But
They both have parking, but
yeah,
I think, you know. I don't know, what do we do here?
I had made him an interim offer too. Let me see what I think I had come up with, figuring it another way, I had come up with like 4.7. I can, he wanted no
And
part.
what's the 4.7 based on?
It's something I had put together just to make an offer to him. Let me see if I can put my hands on it, on the numbers. This was for the ATB case, so. That's what we were talking about. The case was scheduled. What do we got here? Okay, I think I dropped the rent from 53 to 48 for FY 21. And they came to 4.733. And I mean, he wanted no part of that, but you know, I mean, that's again, that's on the ATB, to settle the ATB case. I would proportionally drop this one from, you know, for this year, because it started out lower, from like 5.2, it might come in at 4.5. I'd have to run the numbers, but you know, I could abate it to that too and see, you know, if he goes for it, he can go file, still go file at the ATB if he doesn't want to take it.
How do we do that? Because I don't know. What do you guys think? Just,
I'm with that. That's fine with me.
Somewhere in the 4.5 range.
yeah.
I gotta do the exact numbers. I can't do them that fast. But, all right, what I'll do is I'll email you a number and you can just say yay or nay
Okay.
on that one. I gotta figure out the exact number, but it's gonna be in the 4.5 range. And I'll offer him the 4.7 on the ATB case and, we can just go from there.
That was a long meeting for 2 abatements.
Yeah, well, I know these are the ones that I've been holding on to because
Yeah, yeah.
and the
I know.
guy from the Sheridan keeps sending me emails every 2 weeks. But have you guys gotten squared away with Dave on the interview process? Because I know I thought he was going to be on this morning.
Think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, let me give him a quick call and see if he's in. Well, we All right, he's not answering, so what has he got scheduled?
Got me on for April something rather. Let me see.
Barry, you got this week, Thursday or Friday or something?
Let me double check. I asked him to send me an invite and he did, so it should be on my calendar, but I'm not seeing it making it to my calendar. Let me look, let me search for his emails. I like it was the 7th, but
Yeah, because I know he was looking
I
at
know.
Thursday or Friday.
yeah, so I know he sent me a mistaken invitation for the 6th and then turned it to 7. So
Okay.
now he did flip it, but it's not on my calendar for the 7th, but that would be Thursday, I guess, right?
Yeah,
And now I'm just trying to look through this to find out what time because it's not 4 p.m. on Thursday.
okay, I don't have it. That's why he was.
Yeah, I'll
supposed to come.
I'll manually add it, but I'm gonna need the, oh, no, it is there. I'm sorry. It's on my calendar. So it would show up. It just didn't jump out at me. Yeah, 4 o'clock on Thursday. And it says he's to send out the Zoom link. That's why I don't have a link. I was looking for something with a link. Okay.
All right,
Thursday.
I'm
at
just-
Mine is Thursday, the 14th.
Okay, so if he makes it past the first round. Then you guys are there. Okay, I'm just playing with this number. Maybe I can give it to you right now. Well. Where am I? Okay, no, I gotta play with it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, well, if he's not on, then we're good for next Monday at 9:30. Just to go through Nancy's deferral things,
Monday at 9:30?
The
Or
11th,
8:30.
right?
right?
Next Monday,
Next Monday at 9:30.
correct.
No more than 15, 20 minutes, because they're deferral renewals and there's one new one, which the period for filing ended Friday afternoon. And
Did
I
you
was-
send out an invite for that?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you're all good for it.
You want
Yeah,
me to put these
I
in the
have a
shredder?
1-hour appointment from 8:15 to 9:15. There's a slight shot. I'm 5 minutes late, but if I have a dial in, I can get there certainly right on time. By
Okay,
phone.
and what'd you say, Artie? I didn't hear you.
I mean, there's just 2 of these. I can put them in my shredder right now, so you save yourself a trip.
Yeah, okay. Can you
Same
do
here. I shred these things.
that? Okay,
Fine. I can shred them.
Stan, you can
I'll
bring
just
yours
bring
in.
them in. I'll
Bring
bring
them in
them
and
in.
spread them. All right, that will save me a trip. And I will, when Nancy's finished, I'll get the deferral stuff together and get it out to you.
I can shred these right now, right? I don't need them. You're not gonna,
Oh. That way you have,
Okay.
you have lots of
you
witnesses.
can hear it happening.
Yes, he's faking it.
I can't fake that sound.
All right,
Hopefully I didn't just do my tax returns.
yeah. All righty, so we will talk next Monday. And I'll
All right,
send you out
guys.
I'll send you out a number on that guy for compromise.
All right,
All
great.
right, I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, good enough.
Bye.
Bye.